Yes, what is your name, please?
My name is Trina Hauser.
And you're from where?
I'm from Swanton, Ohio.
All right, now what brought you out here to this event to commemorate the Battle of Fallen Timbers?
It's an extremely important battle and part of this area's history, and so many people are not aware of it. So even though I studied extensively on this battle, it's always important to continue your education and learn more and more. So that's why I wanted to come.
You know, that's exactly why I'm here, because in 60 days from today, in 1794, that's when Fort Wayne was named Fort Wayne.
Oh, okay, that's right, because it was Kikiyanga first, and then, of course, our good friend Anthony Wayne went back over to that way.
And nobody knows about this, what happened here. I mean, they know that Anthony Wayne defeated the Indians, and that's the end of the story about this event.
And there was just so much more to it than that, because like they touched on in the program, there had been 2 previous defeats, and it was just imperative that he would win for the American side. And otherwise, like they mentioned in there, this could be an Indian buffer zone. This could have been a buffer zone that would have happened if he had not won. They would have had to possibly rethink the battlefield, or the boundaries lines. So,
you know, but why isn't this more known? I mean, whose fault is it that we've all become so illiterate when it comes to this Indian Wars history?
I think, well, in this area, Tecumseh is extremely well known because of the whole Battle of Fort Meigs, which happened in May of 1813. But people seem to overshadow the fact that Little Turtle was in this area too. Little Turtle was so important, and people don't realize some of the things he did. He was the first Indian, the first American Indian, your First Nations, who was vaccinated. He was vaccinated against smallpox. He was the first one to go to the nation's capital, Philadelphia, and meet with the president and other generals of the American Revolutionary War. So he truly wanted peace for his people because he didn't want any more of his people to die. So I think there just needs to be more information in the history books, and not just about him, but some of the other ones, like they talked about, like Tarhee and Black Hoof and Blue Jacket, and who these people were and what they did for their people, because we always hear about it from the American side. To the victor go the spoils, of course, but I think hearing it from the First Nations side so that they could hear, I don't know how else to say it.
But, you know, one thing I've been curious about is, and I'm bringing this up time and time again, the only war that you see on TV is Custer's Last Stand. They have numerous battles about that, but none about St. Clair's defeat, Homer's defeat, you know, and Little Turtle's battles.
My theory behind why these battles at this time period are not as well known is because you had better media coverage later on. You have the Telegraph, you have Matthew Brady and his photographers, and you have photography in general. At this time period, you had newspapers, but you didn't have any people out here, so there was no way for them to get word back east to the publishers. You have a few artists that are sent out here by the government so that they can paint these pictures, so that they can paint the people and how their villages lived and what they looked like and what they wore. But this predates your photography by so many years. So first of all, it takes longer to paint a picture than to take a picture, so there's not as many paintings. Plus, since they predate from so far before, I don't think as many survive. So I think, as odd as it may sound, there was better media coverage later on.
But years later, we know this, but yet the political leaders, education leaders, don't go back to the books like we did and get these facts correct, because these Native Americans in these battles, again, they killed more, not praising killing Americans at all, but they killed more Americans than any other group of Native Americans in U.S. history, and they've never been recognized for their fighting ability.
It might just be because it's just easier to go with what you already know, like I say, the Custer's Last Stand, perhaps, rather than looking back further through history. That, you've got me stumped. I've never thought of it like that before.